This video will contain spoilers for Final Fantasy XV. Hello, Meoni here and welcome back to another video. This time I want to take a brief look at the Final Fantasy XV recent 14 crossover event and really speculate about the sort of thing we could come to expect from the 14 iteration of this crossover, presumably coming out next year. It's been in the talks now for quite some time and we're still yet to see any official news on what Final Fantasy XIV will get. But if you play the content in Final Fantasy XV, you can actually get a pretty good hint at least how the two worlds get connected in the first place. In the storyline of the crossover then, you and the other Choker Bros are introduced to Yajime of the Y Tribe, a Makote that, as she mentions, got sent over to the world of Final Fantasy XV from 14 after interacting with ancient Allagan technology accidentally after an altercation with the Ixali Beastman tribe.
I believe it's this world's version of a teleporter. I found myself right next to it when I came to, so it may have brought me here.
What do you mean, this world?
You know, your world. The one we're in right now. That device must have linked up with one of the ancient Allagan teleporters I found back home. I racked my brain, and that's the only theory I could come up with.
Sure. Sounds like something straight out of a video game.
So there are Allagan machines capable of such teleportation. It's shown how this teleporter, as Yajime describes it, is what brought her here, which Ignis compares to be a lot like their world's magical technology.
This is the teleporter, I presume. It looks strikingly similar to Solheim's magic technology.
You think this is what the Ixal used to get here?
Actually, how should I put this? You see, they didn't come here of their own accord. I brought them.
What?
I kind of borrowed some valuable scholarly documents from their camp, and they kind of caught me red-handed. I managed to escape into some ancient ruins, but then there was this little accident and, well, here we all are.
This teleporter exists then to transfer things between various worlds. During an epic encounter with a primal Garuda in the conclusion of this storyline, the finale introduces the fact that Noctis is missing, albeit for a brief moment in the cutscene, which every character shares concern about, shortly before he rematerializes behind them. When asked about this, Noctis simply thinks that he was dreaming, with Yajime commenting that for that moment she thought he had got lost in her world.
This can't be! There you are.
Oh man! I thought you disappeared on us!
Are you hurt?
No, I think I was just dreaming.
You sure you're okay there, Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, thank goodness. I was so afraid you'd been whisked away to my world this time.
Speaking of which, do you think you'll be able to make it?
So then comes the realization of how the crossover would work for us. Is it possible then that in the brief few seconds in 15's world where Noctis went missing was more like days or even longer in 14's world, and somehow he's forgotten the events that transpired in that time? Could this then ultimately be confirmation that Noctis comes to 14 in the upcoming crossover in some fashion, similar no doubt to how Lightning came over in that crossover event back in the day for Final Fantasy XIII. There are even filter options for the photo mode in 15, with this content update allowing you to create a fake display in the design of Final Fantasy XIV's UI. The UI layout is for the most part just for a joke, but if you take a closer look there's some reason to get excited. One of the buttons shown on the UI looks to summon the Regalia mount, and another for a Kenny Crow minion. Whilst these are both just likely jokes, it doesn't stop the community from expecting something on this scale in some way when the event comes our way in 14. The Regalia would be far too large to have in our game was my immediate thought, but then I remembered the damn whale mount. And the Kenny Crow minion isn't exactly a bad idea. If you really think, what could the rewards actually be? Well, you have the whole Armiga system full of various cool weapons that Noctis uses that could easily suit each of the jobs we have in 14, there's just so many of them. We have cool bosses like Arden or variations on bosses straight out of 15, and the emphasis during the only feedback we have so far on this collaboration from Yoshi P and the 14 development development team is that it's going to be a large-scale event, and presumably that's what's taking its time to develop, which we should hopefully see more information on and some confirmation of 14's version in February in Paris. So the question remains, what would you want from 15 in 14 if you could have anything at all? We'll revisit this topic in the future when we get an official announcement to see who got things right. Let me know below, and I'll see you all next time.